The pillar, women in Sanatan Dharma. When woman remembers her sanctity, the world remembers its balance. Introduction. The forgotten pillar. There is a story that has been told for centuries, often without depth, often without understanding. It is the story of womanhood. In the modern world, this story is too frequently told as one of oppression, submission, and control. Symbols once sacred are now dismissed as superstitions. Practices that once protected and elevated women are painted as tools of patriarchy. In the noise of political rhetoric and surface-level analysis, the true science, symbolism, and sanctity behind these customs have been forgotten. But Sanatan Dharma never viewed woman as weak, secondary, or subservient. It never saw her as property to be possessed or a mere participant in a man's world. In the oldest hymns of the Rig Veda, woman is praised as Sahasram Saktir, the thousandfold power without which creation cannot even begin. The Upanishads teach that the masculine and the feminine are not rivals but complementary halves of a cosmic whole. Without Shakti, Shiva is inert. Without energy, consciousness cannot manifest. And without woman, the world cannot sustain itself. This series is about restoring that understanding. It is about uncovering the deeper meaning behind the practices, roles, and responsibilities that women have carried for millennia, not as chains, but as channels of immense power. It is about clearing misconceptions and remembering the truth. When woman stands in her sanctity, society stands upright. When she forgets it, everything begins to fall apart. 1. Sindoor, the fire of Shakti. They called it a mark of control. They said it was a symbol of a woman's subordination to her husband. But the vermilion line that runs through the parting of a woman's hair is far older and far deeper than any social convention. It is a living symbol of life force, of sacred union, and of divine energy. In the subtle sciences of yoga and tantra, the space where Sindoor is applied aligns with the Sahasrara and Ajna chakras, the crown and the third eye, the points through which cosmic consciousness enters the human system. The red pigment, traditionally made from turmeric and cinnabar, resonates with the frequency of Agni, the fire principle. When applied with awareness, it is believed to activate prana, regulate subtle currents, and protect the mind from negative influences. Its placement is also significant. The parting of the hair is not random, it symbolizes the meeting point of Shiva and Shakti within the individual. To wear Sindoor is to declare that this union exists, that life flows within, and that the woman carries the energy of creation itself. It is not a symbol of ownership. It is a crown of power, a daily reminder of the sacred force she holds. 2. Mangal Sutra, the golden thread of the gods. Around a woman's neck hangs a chain that many today see as a mere ornament or a sign of marital status. But the Mangal Sutra, from Mangala, auspicious, and Sutra, thread, was designed by the rishis as a living yantra, a tool to stabilize, protect, and harmonize. The black beads strung into the necklace are not decorative. They are absorbers of negative vibrations, grounding the woman's energy and shielding her from external harm. The gold thread, associated with the sun, channels vitality and consciousness. Together, they create a balance of protection and radiance, a shield and a beacon. This is why the Mangal Sutra rests near the Anahat, heart, and Vishuddha, throat, chakras, centers of love and truth. It is not a sign that a woman is owned. It is a reminder of the vows she and her husband share, a physical manifestation of a metaphysical bond, and a daily invocation of harmony within and around her. 3. Bangles and anklets, the circuit of presence. Every chime of a woman's bangles, every soft jingle of her anklets, has a purpose beyond ornamentation. In Sanatan thought, sound is not merely a sensory experience, it is vibration, and vibration shapes reality. The rhythmic sound of bangles stimulates blood circulation and prana flow, maintaining physical health. It also signals presence. The sound announces that life and energy are moving through the home. Anklets too serve an energetic function. They ground the energy of the body and create a resonant field with the earth element. In ancient times, these sounds were also practical. They kept wild animals at bay and helped family members know one another's presence. What modernity sees as decoration was once a well-calibrated tool of physiology, psychology, and subtle science. 4. Kumkum and Tilak, the third eye seal, the small red dot on the forehead, so often mocked as a mere cultural relic, has a purpose rooted in the deepest philosophies of the Upanishads. The Ajna chakra, located between the eyebrows, is the seat of inner vision and intuitive wisdom. Applying kumkum here is not a fashion statement. It is an act of sealing and focusing the mind. The pressure applied while placing the dot stimulates the pituitary gland, supporting hormonal balance and mental clarity. The red color, again associated with Agni, channels focus and sharpens awareness. For centuries, women applied this mark before prayers, before household work, before teaching their children, because it was a ritual of concentration, a signal to the body and mind that the sacred work of the day was about to begin. 5. The sari, draping the aura of the Devi. The sari is not just a piece of fabric. Its geometry and draping style evolved as a form of subtle armor, a way to contain and direct the body's energy field. Traditional saris are woven in specific patterns that encourage prana circulation. Their length and wrapping style protect the vital regions of the body and provide a sense of grounding and grace. More importantly, the sari represents modesty not as repression, but as dignity, a visible manifestation of self-respect and inner strength. In Sanatan thought, modesty is not about hiding, it is about preserving sanctity. A woman who dresses with awareness is not diminishing herself, she is commanding respect, from others and from herself. 6. The sacred marriage, mirror of the cosmos. Marriage, in Sanatan Dharma, is not a contract between two individuals. It is a sacred sanskara, a ritual that mirrors the union of Shiva and Shakti, consciousness and energy. Every vow taken around the sacred fire has cosmic significance. The couple is not merely pledging loyalty, they are aligning themselves with the order of the universe. The woman's role in this union is not passive. She is the keeper of the home's spiritual fire, the guardian of tradition, and the co-creator of destiny. Together with her husband, she creates a space where dharma can flourish, a space where children can grow in wisdom and society can sustain itself. Marriage is not about ownership, it is about partnership. It is not about hierarchy, it is about harmony. 7. Rituals of the householder, daily yantras. Every dawn, millions of women light a lamp before the family altar. They draw column designs on thresholds, offer water to the sun, and recite mantras as they cook. These are not empty rituals. They are daily yantras, practices that keep the home in rhythm with the cosmos. Lighting a lamp symbolizes awakening consciousness. Drawing sacred patterns aligns the home's energy with auspicious geometries. Offering water to the sun honors the cycle of life. Through these acts, women transform ordinary spaces into sacred ones. They weave the microcosm of the household into the macrocosm of the universe. They keep time itself in balance. 8. Motherhood. The first Gurukula. The first teacher a child encounters is not a priest, a scholar, or a schoolmaster. It is the mother. Her lullabies are the first scriptures. Her stories are the first philosophy. Her discipline is the first dharma. In Sanatan thought, motherhood is not simply a biological function, it is a sacred vocation, a form of yajna, a self-offering for the future of humanity. It is in a mother's lap that values are first sown. It is through her example that the child learns courage, compassion, and integrity. When a woman embraces motherhood as a sacred duty, she does more than raise children, She shapes civilizations. 9. Women as lineage holders, the unbroken thread for centuries. History was not written in books, it was sung in lullabies, remembered in stories, and preserved in rituals passed from mother to daughter. Women have always been the custodians of lineage memory. They have been the ones who kept genealogies alive, who remembered the migrations, who preserved the hymns. This continuity is not accidental. It is the natural result of a society that sees women as the living archive of its wisdom. Without them, history would be a pile of dates. With them, it is a living tradition. 10. Women, economy and craft, the invisible infrastructure. While kings built palaces and armies fought wars, women built the invisible infrastructure that sustained society. They spun thread, wove cloth, brewed medicine, managed households, traded goods, and sustained local economies. In many communities, women were the backbone of artisan guilds and economic networks. To reduce their role to domesticity is to misunderstand history. They were not confined to the home, they were the home, and the home was the foundation of civilization. While men built walls, the old saying goes, women built worlds. 11. Women and storytelling, culture makers. Long before printed books, it was women who told the stories that shaped a people's moral imagination. They narrated the epics to children by firelight. They encoded ethical lessons into folk songs and festivals. They were the ones who carried mythology across generations. Storytelling is not entertainment in Sanatan Dharma, it is a vehicle for transmitting Dharma itself. And women have always been its primary drivers. The values we hold today, courage, sacrifice, loyalty, were first taught in the stories they told. 12. Queens and counselors, power with compassion. The narrative that women were excluded from leadership collapses under historical evidence. From Draupadi's political acumen to Rani Lakshmibai's courage, from Maitreya and Gargi's philosophical debates to the queens who ruled kingdoms, women have shaped governance at every level. They brought a quality often missing from male-dominated politics, power guided by compassion. Leadership in Sanatan thought is not about domination. It is about seva, service. And women have embodied this ideal time and again, ruling not with iron fists but with steady hands and empathetic hearts. 13. Women and spirituality, saints and seers. Perhaps the greatest misconception is that spirituality is a male domain. The Vedas mention Rishikas, female seers, who composed hymns. Saints like Andal, Mirabai, and Akka Mahadevi reached the highest states of realization. Yoginis and Tantrikas have been revered as embodiments of wisdom and power. Shakti needs no permission to awaken. Enlightenment knows no gender. The soul's journey to liberation is the same whether the body is male or female. And women, throughout history, have walked that path with grace and power. 14. Ethics of choice, freedom within Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is often misunderstood as rigid and oppressive. In reality, it is one of the most flexible and choice-based systems of thought in human history. It recognizes that Dharma must evolve with context. What remains constant is the principle, the details must adapt. True Dharma never demands blind obedience. It calls for conscious choice. If a practice no longer serves its sacred purpose, it must be reformed, not discarded, not blindly followed, but intelligently reinterpreted. Women have the right and the duty to shape these practices according to their conscience and the needs of their time. 15. Rebirth of the pillar, a modern sankalpa. The world today stands at a crossroads. We have more technology than ever, yet our societies feel more fractured. We speak of equality, yet families crumble under the weight of confusion. We celebrate progress, yet feel spiritually hollow. The solution is not to abandon tradition, nor to cling to it blindly. The solution is to remember its essence. To remember that woman is not a passive participant but the very pillar on which the house of humanity stands. When she remembers her sanctity, when she understands the science behind the symbols, the power within the roles, the choice within the customs, the world itself regains its balance. This is the purpose of this series. It is not nostalgia for the past. It is a blueprint for the future, a future where woman stands not as victim or rival, but as pillar and partner. A future where symbols are not misunderstood as shackles but reclaimed as tools. A future where society does not diminish the feminine but reveres it, not in words alone, but in action, in policy, in culture, and in the rhythms of daily life. Conclusion. The eternal truth in the Rig Veda. There is a verse, Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante yarta devatah, where women are honored, there the gods rejoice. This is not a poetic exaggeration. It is a statement of metaphysical truth. Where women are diminished, society collapses. Where they are elevated, civilization thrives. Sanatan Dharma does not need to be defended against modernity. It needs to be explained, in its depth, its science, its symbolism, and its timeless wisdom. Once understood, it is clear that the practices we dismiss today were not born from ignorance. They were born from insight, from a profound understanding of the body, the mind, the cosmos, and the soul. The fire of Shakti still burns. The pillar still stands. All that is needed is for us to see it again, and to remember. The pillar,